Live from Honolulu, Hawaii, it's Baptiz by Fire. And here's your host, Justin Baptiz.
And welcome back to another episode of Baptiz by Fire, Conversations with Justin, where we dive into the stories, struggles, and triumphs of our incredible guests. I'm your host, Justin Baptiz. And we are here with a very special guest, all the way in New Orleans, Louisiana. If you haven't heard about this artist right now, I want you guys to check out this guy's music. One of the best coming out of New Orleans, Louisiana, singer-songwriter, Naeem Clark. How you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Thanks for the introduction.
Absolutely, man. So good to see you. I know that we were briefly talking about music and what you're doing currently right now. So let's kind of dive into what you've been doing these days.
Yeah, so I've been locked in here in the studio, bro. Trying to finish up this album I got called "Who Hurt You." So like 9 or 10 tracks, going over some events that happened over the years with heartbreak and relationships and situations like that.
In regards to your music, because I know you've been doing music for quite some time, I definitely got to ask you about your latest single, which was dropped on July 2024, Nothing Lasts Forever. Let's kind of go into your recent release track and, what was the inspiration and, what message did you want to relay in that track?
So Nothing Lasts Forever is actually one of the tracks on my next album. And it was inspired by a situation with a woman where we were on a break, took a break, and I felt some type of way. You know what I'm saying? She hurt me with some of the things that was going on. So that was my way of, kind of like getting it out without having to talk to anyone else. So the music is actually a form of therapy for me. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to talk my talk on that and still make people vibe at the same time.
That's brilliant, man. That's brilliant. Now, in regards to your music career, obviously, you dropped your debut album, and your debut album, which was dropped in September of 2020, includes a fan favorite, 10 Toes Down. So can you walk us through, your debut album and, what that song means to you personally?
Okay, my debut was actually in 2014, I believe. And it was the EP, Beautiful Music. And so, but we can still touch on Calliope to Calabasas.
Yes, that's what I was referring to. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10 Toes Down, that was actually a record where I was just talking my talk again, you know what I'm saying? She said, "Don't leave me all alone." Just basically talking about like me being on the grind and doing what I have to do and just having a down chick on my side who can hold me down, you know what I'm saying? And understand she's kind of trying to help me stay grounded too, when the money comes, don't change, stay the same, be the same Naeem that I know now, you know what I'm saying? So that was something that was actually told to me once before, like, look, don't change. You see your life is changing, things are, moving up. So be the same person that I know.
Now, in regards to, what you had mentioned was your EP, Beautiful Music, if I'm not mistaken. You're mentioning about your Beautiful Music EP, but in regards to your debut album, which was released back in September of 2020, talk about what it was like for you to not only release your debut album, but to finally have something out there after you released your EP.
Yeah, well, I think I had been dropping singles like after the EP. So it was single after single. And then I was like, it's time. It was kind of crazy because I dropped it around the time COVID hit. So that's why I have on the cover, I have the girl with the mask on, and you know what I'm saying? Like kind of, and the title depicts me going from the Calliope projects in New Orleans, that's where I'm from, to Calabasas. So it was like it's like a rag to riches type of play on words. And it felt good to release it. And I had a few records that actually was playing on the radio. So that felt good, you know what I'm saying, to get the spins. I was getting, interviews based on certain songs on that album. And I actually dropped a video for two of the songs, I believe, from that project. So that was fun.
Okay. So in regards to the music that you've released so far in your career, and I got to ask you, because I know you've been doing music for quite some time, Out of all the songs that you've written, which one are you the most proud of, and which one stands alone to you?
The ones that I'm most proud of is usually the last song. I don't know why, but it's always the latest. So it's always like my new friend, my new best friend. But I think right now, man, I'm really proud of the songs that I haven't released because I'm proud of all of the ones that I released, but I'm excited to drop the next thing. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, it gets old to me, and I'm just ready for the world to like feel this new project. Because this project, I think, is very relatable to everybody. Like everybody's been through some type of breakup, you know, heartbreak and stuff like that. And I feel like people will be able to vibe with this album as they get over certain things like breakups. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's making the party records right now. And it's good to turn up, but there also should be like an alternative sound and subject matter to kind of bob your head to it and move your body to it. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Now, I've listened to your music throughout, for quite some time. I've listened to your music. And I got to tell you, two of my favorite songs that you've got out there is For the Streets and Everything. So let's talk about those songs. And I mean, for those that are tuning in or listening into this interview, you definitely cannot, these two songs right here, you definitely cannot, you got to have them on your radar, got to have them on your playlist for sure. So, yeah, let's talk about those two songs, man. I mean, those are two really good songs you've had out there, bro.
Man, thank you. For the Streets is actually a song that's on this album as well, on Who Hurt You. And For the Streets was inspired by an ex of mine. Like we were going through something and there was like, you'll hear the drama in the song when it comes out. Well, you already heard it, but it's like a maybe baby in a situation, a girl from another country that I was kind of messing around with. She decided to leave. And to this day, I still haven't met the baby or I haven't spoken to her since. So I made this record probably in 2019, something like that, 2019-ish. So that was fun to make. And that actually got some radio play too. So that was cool. But I actually want to do a video for that. So I'm glad you said you like that one because I want to do a video for that record. And Everything is a different vibe. Everything is one of those love songs that I want to actually feature on Beautiful Music Part 2. So I'm planning on putting that out this year. And that's just a song that I felt, I had a moment where I was in love, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to express to the woman how she's my everything. You know what I'm saying? How she motivates me to love her more and to be here and to tap in to the love that I have inside, So it's a duality. Sometimes I can speak about the rough times on a song like For the Streets, and then I can speak about the pleasant times like a song like, Everything.
Absolutely. Now, you've been doing R&B music, R&B soul music for quite some time, from what I've listened to throughout your music career. Tell us, I mean, how would you describe your musical style and how has your style evolved since you first started making music?
Man, that's a good question. Actually, I began as a producer. I started out making beats and selling some here in New Orleans, but I always have sang and rapped. I can rap too. Well, you heard the 10 Toes Down. So I think that I was doing Drake before Drake, honestly. I have songs where I was like sing rapping and having like a melodic flow, kind of like on 10 Toes Down and records like that. And I think now I am probably more of a pure singer. Like I can still rap, I rap for fun sometimes, but I think that I just get in the pocket now and really sing because I had a friend of mine who passed away maybe 3 years ago. He used to always tell me like, you're holding back, like you can really blow. And so that's something that I try to like keep in mind now. Like I can really sing, you know what I'm saying? Like there's some guys who have to like kind of get by with certain things, but then I was blessed with a talent to really croon. So that's something that I think I do more now. I've always been a songwriter and I've always been a singer, but I really love to sing now.
You got any musical inspirations?
I have many, man. I have many. From pop artists like Michael Jackson, Prince, to rappers like Bone Thugs and Harmony, some Southern rappers like Juvenile and Lil Wayne and people from my city, Mystical, to Aretha Franklin, to Jackie Wilson. I could name artists for days. You know what I'm saying? The Temptations, Smokey Robinson, man, Brandy. It don't matter. Like if it's R&B or hip hop, some reggae. You know what I'm saying? Like so many to name. Like really, too many.
You mentioned earlier that you started off as a producer. And I got to ask you, was music your first love, or did you ever have any other career goals in mind? And because you're based in New Orleans, how has the evolution been in regarding to just the music scene out there?
Yeah, I think music is just something like you ever find yourself just doing something and you don't know why. Like that's how music was for me. Like I was riding in a car all the time and singing songs, and then people would be like, "Man, you sound like the radio." Like my family and friends and people at school would be like, "You sound like the radio." Then the girls started grabbing me in the lunch line and like, "Come sing this, sing this song for my friends." So that was always the thing for me. Like music has always, and then I started to realize like I really like doing this because it wasn't something that somebody said you have to do it. Like it was just something that I would wake up every day to and just do it and make nothing but songs and fill up hard drives with songs. And as far as New Orleans, when it comes to music, New Orleans has always been like a jazz, second line and bounce music sort of scene. And I don't think it's changed that much. Maybe the artists have changed. And then with the early 2020s, we had the Lil Shine with Drake, and he kind of put some bounce on the map. So that got another look and more shine. I think that bounce is just a staple of New Orleans. But me, when it comes to me in the New Orleans scene, I just haven't been in that pocket to like make bounce music and stuff like that. I embrace it more now because it's part of my culture and it's part of where I'm from. But I've never viewed myself as a bounce artist or like a jazz artist, but I do appreciate both crafts.
Now, when speaking of music, I know that you're an R&B artist. I know that you also do singing and songwriting as well. What separates you from the rest of the pack? Because I know that there's a lot of artists, that do R&B, such as Lucky Day, to name a few, who is from New Orleans as well. But what separates you from the rest of the pack? What makes you different as an artist?
Well, honestly, because nobody can sound like me. There's artists that sound similar, but nobody can get in my body and sound like me. Everybody's voices are different because we all have, the physiology that can explain that and the biology that can explain that. But there's nobody that can ever be me. And I know that's like it seems like a generic answer, but I truly mean that. Like my voice is unique, just like a fingerprint. Your voice is that unique. So nobody can ever be Naeem or sound like Naeem. They can try to get close and sound like some. There's always a Michael Jackson comparison out there, right? But no one can sound like Mike. They can get close to sounding like him, but they can't sound exactly like him. So that's what makes me different from other artists. What makes me different too is I try to be as authentically me as I possibly can with my subject matters. So that's why like the album Who Hurt You has me with a teardrop on the cover. I can't wait till you hear it. But there's a teardrop on the cover because that's where I've been. That's the journey that I was on making this album. And so that's what I wanted to talk about. I have a song called Sexaholics Anonymous. I was able to make that because I had been through a journey that allowed me to speak about that. You see what I'm saying? So to answer your question, nobody can be me because we probably been through similar things, but my path is my path.
In regards to that, you are a singer-songwriter. And with that being said, when you go about the creation of music and what you're doing, what does your songwriting process look like? Do you start with lyrics, melodies, or is it just something else entirely?
I start with it all. Sometimes I can have a beat. Like if I have a beat and I'm riding in a car, sometimes the inspiration strikes when I'm driving to work. Sometimes the inspiration can strike when I'm watching a movie. I can actually intend to sit down to write and inspiration can strike. So I always have a tape, a recorder with me at all times. Usually I put it on my phone. And so to answer your question, sometimes the melody might start. If I'm producing a song, sometimes the beat can start things off. So the melody, I might take my time and make a melody for the whole song. I might just hum the whole melody. Sometimes words and melodies come together simultaneously. It just depends. It really depends on the mood and my vibe.
In your songwriting process, of course, you want to relay a message to somebody. You want to create a certain theme or an atmosphere. So my question to you is, are there any reoccurring themes or messages in your music that you hope resonate with your audience?
Right now, I think that I think one of the themes that have resonated with myself and my audience for a long time has been hurt. Like the pain and things and breakups and stuff like that at different points. And that's how I was able to make this album that I'm about to drop. And what I want people to understand is that even if they're going through these things, like they can actually listen to these projects like this one and use it as inspiration to heal. Because ultimately, I'm on a journey to heal. That's why I'm able to express and get this, this type of material off my chest. So ultimately, I want people to actually be inspired by it to heal themselves if there's healing that needs to be done.
Now, when we talk about just not only just the influences and the challenges in your career, I definitely want to ask about this. I know that we talked about this a few minutes ago. You mentioned about bounce music being a big influence in New Orleans. With New Orleans having its vast majority of creations and bounce and R&B and hip hop and just being culturally influenced by a lot of different things in New Orleans. Um, how has growing up there shaped your sound, and how do you incorporate the cultural influence in your music?
Well, growing up here, I grew up kind of rough. Like, I wasn't completely, I wouldn't say I was poor, but we weren't middle class either. My mom and dad was at home, but my mom pretty much was the breadwinner. So there was times where we struggled, and there was times where things were okay. And I grew up in the Calliope projects uptown, same projects that Master P and his brothers are from. And so there was violence all around, and I would see different things like that. I've almost been shot a couple times. Thank God I didn't, and thank God I'm still here to be able to share my stories. You know what I'm saying? And so amongst all of the craziness and all of the violence around me and happening in the city, I was able to still tap in and focus. Thank God I never went astray and got into violence myself, or getting into crime and things like that. I always would go in my room, and that was my way of coping, I think, too, and dealing with the things that I saw outside in my family, the hardships that we dealt with. I would release it through music. So I got songs in the early parts of my career. I had songs about my neighborhood too, and I had raps about things that I was seeing on a daily basis. From my partners who got killed, and people I knew, people we lost, and some in the up times, the good times too. I was speaking about.
Interesting, man. Interesting. I mean, sounds like you've been through a lot, but you definitely have rise to the occasion and have done pretty well for yourself, man. So I'm definitely proud of you on that, brother. Yeah. Now, and speaking upon that, being an independent artist, I'm not too sure if you're signed to a label or you're not, or are signed to a label, but what do you feel has been some of the challenges or some adversities that you have to overcome, and how did you make it through, especially in your music career? Was there anything that you wish you would have known when you first started out in your career?
Oh man, so it's a lot of obstacles. I am independent. I do everything myself, me and my team, and I would say that the only thing I don't know. I know a lot of people say they don't have regrets. I don't have many regrets, but what I would do. So there's one thing I would do differently, and I would be. Sometimes I wish I had the confidence and the knowledge that I have now back then, because I think back then, like a lot of people now with the internet and how much information is out there, a lot of people have this analysis paralysis to where they get all of the information and they study, but they never move. And for me, knowing that, I just move. I don't do much studying anymore. Not saying I don't study at all, I just move. So what I would do differently is just get things done. You know what I'm saying? Make things happen. I forgot the original question, but yeah, I forgot. What, can you repeat the question one time?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, you touched about what you wish you would have known in regards to your music career. You talked about the obstacles that you've challenged.
Obstacles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of the obstacles I had. So honestly, like money. Like money is having to promote, and then as you age and you have kids and things like that, and your life changes and different demands, it gets harder. So a lot of people drop out of the race altogether. But I'm still here because I have a true passion for what I do. The money is cool, but I think at this stage in my life, I'm not chasing money. I'm actually chasing, like, I'm not even chasing anything, but I am into being an artist and actually creating something that I'm proud of and that I think the world would be happy that they were able to experience it. You know what I'm saying? And so so the obstacles over the years has been having to go out, pay bills, and actually work jobs. So that took a lot of time from me creating even more music. You know what I'm saying? I could have had big catalogs by now, but I try not to get stuck on that and understand that there's still time. So even though that was an obstacle at a certain point, and then there's still obstacles even today that may set me back from putting things out when I want to. Or I think now it's just it's time to actually drop all the things that I've been having in the back catalogs. You know what I'm saying, and putting it out. So yeah, that's been my number one obstacle. I think just having to lifing. You know what I'm saying, and things happening, but you still people dying. My daddy died last year, so it's like I'm still having to show up and do what I have to do because at the end of the day, I still want to produce more. You know what I'm saying, and express more. I should say, put more projects out and things like that. You know what I'm saying.
My condolences to you on that.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
You mentioned about just what you're working on right now as far as like dropping the projects, dropping the albums. I know you're excited about dropping a new album. I know you touched on it briefly. I know you talked about what can we expect off of the new album, but I guess my question to you is, it has been a few years since you have dropped your last album, but with what you're working on right now creatively, how has your journey shaped your upcoming projects? And looking ahead, what are some of the goals for the next few years, and what can fans expect from you?
From that last album in 2020 to this album now, which would be 2025. So in 5 years, I've been on a journey of ups and downs, like I said, in relationships, just really wanting to find and trying to get to a place where, and right now I'm in a relationship now, a healthy one, and I've done the healing and I've been on that journey. So this album is a reflection of where I was. And now I'm in a better place. So I actually want to make more music between now and forever that reflects where I'm at, in a better place, more healed, more satisfied with myself, and more in tune with myself. And my life as a dad now, you know what I'm saying? I have a 9-year-old, and just tapping into what it's like to be an adult. I know I heard 3 Stacks say there's nothing else for him to say. That's why he doesn't want to rap. But there's always something to say in music. Life always gives you something to say. And so I just want to continue to say what life prompts me to say, and to make more albums and more music and that can continue to help other people get through whatever they're going through. Because people do things all the time. And even if it's not them going through something, then let's share the happy times as well. So I want my music to be on many different levels. Not just happy, not just sad. It could be something in between. It could be, and eventually I want to put out a rap album, because I still am a passionate rapper as well. And so I listen to these new rappers, and I hear these beats that would only stand alone as rap beats. And there's a song I have on that same album that I dropped in 2020 called Thankful, while I'm actually rapping on it. And that kind of gives you an example of what I want to do too soon. And that was my cousin on the feature. So he and I could possibly drop a joint album, and that would be cool. You know what I'm saying? So just expect more music this year for sure. This year I'm gonna drop a few projects this year, a few videos, some more content, photo shoots, you name it. Hopefully we can do some movies too.
That'd be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Your sound obviously is unique, and it is different compared to a lot of the R&B sound that's out right now. If there was an artist or artists that you want to work with, who would it be?
This is always a tough question because I'll be in my own world, to be honest. I've been inspired by a lot of people. You know what? I still would love to work. I always thought of myself as the 6th member of Bone Thugs and Harmony. I would love to do a song with them. I don't know what it would be. I know they're kind of they've evolved and they don't talk about some of the same things that they did, which is cool and it's to be expected as you grow. I would say Bone Thugs, any member or all five. I know Drake is kind of the underdog now, but I would do a record with Drake, Rihanna, Chris Brown, any of the top dogs in R&B. I would do a record with any of them. Chris Brown. I know I'm missing some people. Brett Fayez, like anyone of them.
Okay. Okay. Last question before I forget. The Super Bowl is in New Orleans. Are you going to it? Who are you picking for the Super Bowl?
Actually, I'll be down here. I'll be working for the Super Bowl, so I'll be right in the area. And so who we got Philly and Kansas City, right? I think Kansas is gonna pull it off. I'm going for Kansas City. And I will be at some of the festivities going on down here. I've been at some of them so far, like some of the NFL experience type things. It's crowded in the city too. Like everybody's here. Traffic everywhere. And we typically don't have traffic in. So it's a party down here. So I see, but yeah, I got Kansas.
Okay. I got the Eagles in this one.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if they win though. Actually, I'm a homer, so it don't really matter. We at home already. I'm a Saints fan. Who that? Who that for life? See if Kellen Moore gonna be our coach too. That everybody expects him to be our next coach, so we'll see. And he's coaching in the Super Bowl.
Well, it's definitely gonna be a fun experience, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing your experience continue in music. And I can't wait. And it's such a pleasure to interview you, my friend, and I wish you all the best.
Man, thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
No problem, anytime.
And that concludes another conversation with Justin. You can reach Justin Baptiz on any of his social media handles listed here. So until we meet again, remember, it's Baptiz by Fire.